Shrouded in the thin air of the Peruvian Andes, nearly 8,000 feet above the Pacific, rests a contradiction in stone. It is a city that, by all conventional logic, should not exist. Its builders possessed no wheel to transport heavy rock. They held no iron tools to carve granite. They left behind no written word to explain their methods. And yet, here stands Machu Picchu, a masterpiece of civil engineering so absolute that 5 centuries later, not even a blade of grass can slip between its mortarless joints. For hundreds of years it remained a ghost story, unmarked on any map, unseen by Spanish conquerors. Who erected this citadel in the heavens? Why was it so abruptly silenced? And how did a civilization without steel or machines construct one of the most audacious architectural wonders in human history? This is the story of Machu Picchu, the Inca Empire's last and greatest secret. To understand the city, one must first understand the machine that built it. By the early 15th century, the Inca Empire had surged to become the dominant superpower of the Americas. It was a leviathan stretching 2,500 miles along the spine of the continent, from the tropical rainforests of Colombia to the arid deserts of Chile. It was an organism connected by the Capacñan, a road system spanning 40,000 kilometers, rivaling the highways of Rome. They did not call themselves Inca. They were the Tawantinsuyu, the realm of the 4 united parts. At its beating heart stood Cusco, the imperial capital, the navel of the world. But the Inca were not defined merely by conquest. Their society was a marvel of discipline, astronomy, and a profound, terrifying respect for the landscape. In the Western world, man fought to conquer nature, but to the Inca, the mountains were apus, living deities. They did not conquer the mountain, they entered into a covenant with it, and it was upon one such sacred peak that their greatest ambition would rise. Around 1450, the Emperor Pachacuti issued a command that defied the very geology of the Andes. He ordered the construction of a royal estate, not a military fortress, not a bustling metropolis for the common man, but a sanctuary, protected by isolation and elevated closer to the gods. The site chosen was a nightmare for construction. Perched between 2 jagged peaks, situated on major fault lines, and battered by torrential rains. Any ordinary structure built here would slide into the valley below within a generation. But the Incas did not build ordinary structures. They terraformed the mountain. Before a single wall was raised, they engineered the underground. Massive terraces were carved into the slopes, not just for agriculture, but as structural anchors to prevent landslides. Subterranean drainage channels, still functioning today, siphoned rain away from the foundations with hydraulic genius. Machu Picchu was not built on the mountain. It became part of the mountain. To build a city in the clouds, the Inca first had to conquer the rain. Machu Picchu receives nearly 80 inches of rainfall a year. Without advanced engineering, the mountain would simply wash away. Recent excavations reveal a stunning fact. Nearly 60% of the construction effort at Machu Picchu lies underground, invisible to the eye. The engineers built a sophisticated subterranean drainage system. Instead of simply piling dirt behind their terrace walls, they layered the foundation. First large rocks, then gravel, then sand, and finally topsoil. This created a natural filtration system. When torrential rains fell, the water didn't pool or erode the soil. It was absorbed, filtered, and safely drained away into the jungle below. But while they drained the rain, they masterfully harnessed the spring. High on the slopes of Machu Picchu Mountain, engineers located a single perennial tectonic spring. To bring this water to the city, they carved a canal 749 meters long, stabilized with stone walls. The inclination of this canal was calculated with mathematical perfection. Too steep, and the water would rush and spill. Too flat, and it would stagnate. They achieved a steady, constant flow that fed a chain of 16 ritual fountains. The system was designed with strict hierarchy. The first fountain was located at the emperor's royal residence, ensuring the Inca ruler received the purest water before cascading down to the nobility and the priesthood. Once the infrastructure was set, the city rose. The residential compounds, known as cancha, were marvels of seismic design. If you look closely at the doorways and windows, they are not rectangular. They are trapezoidal, narrower at the top than at the bottom. This shape provides structural stability. When the earth shakes, the inward-leaning walls support each other, preventing collapse. These stone skeletons were once topped with steep A-frame roofs made of ichu grass and wood, designed to shed the heavy Andean rains quickly. Connecting it all is a labyrinth of verticality. The city is stitched together by over 3,000 stone steps. Some are built from hundreds of blocks, others are monolithic, entire staircases carved directly from a single face of protruding granite. They did not just build a city, they engineered a machine that breathed, drank, and held its ground against the elements. Yet the aesthetics of the city present an even deeper enigma. How was it done? Without draft animals to haul 50-ton boulders, without the hardness of iron chisels, the answer lies in sheer human will and infinite patience. Laborers quarried granite directly from the ridge, using harder river stones to pound the rock into shape. It was a process of abrasion, slow, rhythmic, and exacting. They utilized a technique known as ashlar masonry. The stones were not cut to be uniform bricks. They were hewn to fit together like a complex three-dimensional puzzle. This was not merely for beauty, it was for survival. In this seismic zone, rigid mortar cracks. But the Inca walls were designed to dance. When earthquakes struck, the stones would tremble, shift, and then settle back perfectly into place. While the cathedrals of Europe crumbled under tremors, Machu Picchu simply adjusted its stance and endured. At its height, Machu Picchu was a vibrant, exclusive community. It housed perhaps 750 people, the elite of the elite, high priests, astronomers, specialized artisans, and the royal lineage. Every stone here served a function. The Temple of the Sun was a precise observatory, its windows capturing the first light of the solstice. The Intihuatana stone, the hitching post of the sun, served as a cosmic clock, spiritually anchoring the sun to the earth during its winter journey. Terraces lush with corn and coca fed the population, creating a self-sustaining ecosystem above the clouds. This was a place of ritual, a bridge between the earth and the sky. It was a constant offering to Inti, the sun god, the divine ancestor of the emperor. For 80 years, smoke from sacred fires drifted through these peaks. And then, the fires went out. The collapse was swift and absolute. Around 1530, a shadow fell over the Andes. The Spanish conquistadors had arrived, but it was not steel that emptied Machu Picchu. It was likely an invisible army, smallpox. Before the Spanish even set foot in Cusco, European diseases raced down the Inca roads, decimating the population. The empire fractured into civil war. In the chaos, the royal estate was abandoned. Its residents fled back into the jungle, taking their secrets with them. Remarkably, the Spanish never found it. They melted down the gold of Cusco, they dismantled the temples of the capital, but Machu Picchu remained shrouded in mist. The jungle reclaimed the terraces, roots pried at the stones, and the city vanished from the collective memory of the world for 4 centuries. 1911. A Yale historian named Hiram Bingham arrives in Peru. He was searching for the lost capital of the Incas, Guided by local farmers who had known of the ruins for generations, Bingham climbed the steep, slick slopes of the Urubamba Valley. When he breached the canopy, he did not find a scattered pile of rubble. He found a city in suspension, untouched by war, unscathed by the Spanish, preserved by the very isolation that made its construction so difficult. The photographs Bingham brought back stunned the world. They revealed a civilization that had been misunderstood and underestimated. It was one of the greatest archaeological revelations of the 20th century. The lost city had been found.